Yeah! Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Playteamespana show. A special edition here.
What do you got there? Is that a
You can't
Broken
fucking
Skull IPA?
We haven't introduced you. I'm host B, the guru of gynophilia, hobo sexy, the buffet prince, Mr. Cover Me in Vaseline and snort cocaine off my body, host B, and joined, as always, with my co-hosts.
First off, I'm going to say allegedly for that because we can neither confirm nor deny that happened with Hose B. Next, what's good? It's your boy, Jose, a.k.a. Salsa con Fuego, because I'm muy caliente, a.k.a. Papa Change, because I always got them quarters, dimes, and nickels, quarters, dimes, and nickels, quarters, dimes, and nickels. And today, we've got ourselves a very special guest. You may have seen him in promotions such as Stewart Wrestling, AIW, 205 Live. He is the Dumpster Daddy. He is the artist formerly known as CPA, the tax man from Taxland, Tim Gage. He is Nick Stapp.
Hello. How's it going? Oh, you forgot what's the store by your house? Dollar Papa?
Oh, 99 Cent Papa.
99 Cent Papa, yeah.
Such a beautiful establishment. Shout out to Third Avenue.
It is.
But what's going on, fam? How you doing?
Oh, man, just fucking stuck inside. Can you guys cuss on here? You definitely can. I watched all of your episodes.
Playteamespana, baby.
Yeah,
Hell fucking yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Javi said it all right there. I'm good, man. Just chilling, just fucking trying to keep myself busy, trying not to drink too much, but that has failed already. Today failed. But I already got my workout in, so
That's
I'm probably gonna work out a little more after this. So.
Well, to answer your question from earlier, yes, this is a Broken Skull IPA.
El Segundo Brewing Company, Broken Skull IPA.
Got a hell of a kick. And Mr. Coochie Mane, if you don't mind, I'm gonna wear this sexy establishment that was left in my car.
Wow.
Yes, it's yours, and I'm gonna wear this throughout the episode to let you know where it is.
That's why you were so excited about this hat.
My ex-girlfriend bought it for me, so you could have it at this.
Oh!
Let Gordo have that one.
I threw it in the sandbox.
That's 2 days of straight up joy that you just ruined right now.
No,
He texted me about it like, bro, it's perfect. Once we get CPA on the episode, I already got the Stone Cold beer and I got the hat, bro. It's gonna be great. Yeah. It was me. Bro.
It was me.
It's her.
Oh God. We've known each other for a long time. And one of the things I always appreciate about you, even though you take compliments terribly, was your persistence. Do you remember? I think the first compliment when I discovered this, how you take compliments terribly, was I complimented your leapfrog. I said you leapfrog like Shawn Michaels in '93.
You lost him.
We killed him. We killed him with kindness.
It's not even a good compliment.
No, it's not. Not at all. Not at all. But the funny part is that's what I discovered. Oh, if you want to freak CPA out, just give him kind words.
Say something nice. Yeah. So I was there. You came for that open house in late 2013, right?
Wow. Yes. Yeah, you're the only one that remembers that.
Doing Jeremy Thompson, bro.
Damn.
They wanted to make him, me, and maybe two other people a stable. And
Mark this, right?
Yeah, they were gonna call us the Trenchcoat Mafia.
Trenchcoat Mafia.
I thought you were supposed to do something with Homicide.
No, that was after. Because my response to that was, I'm way too Hispanic to be in anything labeled.
Yeah, that doesn't. You could pass for a white guy who has some daddy issues, but
especially when the cops show up.
It's a stretch. It's a big stretch.
Yeah. And then they wanted him to make me Homicide's protege.
Bro, imagine.
Well, yeah, it would have been Homicide and Pesticide.
And then EJ, we don't want to leave EJ out of this conversation.
Nah.
EJ, I became friends with on the New Jersey Transit trains every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday between 2013 and 2015. We would talk, but then I remember we especially bonded because we were doing one of Pat Buck's 60-minute cardio sessions, and EJ and I were paired together, and originally we trained at the Metuchen Sportsplex, and
Word.
the ring was set up next to a hockey rink, and on the other side of it was a soccer field.
Both had turf in it.
Yeah.
Had like turf on it. Yeah.
And EJ and I were chaining, and somehow he taught we tussled into the little goalie area, and EJ farted like it was the stinkiest fucking fart. And I was like, "Money, what are you doing?" And it was just like free for all. Like it wasn't like wrist locks. It was like just go in, just like do whatever. And like my man lets out those stinkiest fart I've ever smelled in my life. And I was like, "All right, get off me, go, stop."
So I've been notoriously gassy during that drill that you're talking about, like that 60 minute of chain. And the weird thing about it was like, I would always have that feeling in my stomach before we even trained. So I just knew like, oh, we're going to train for 60 minutes today. Like I'm gassy today. Everybody watch out. And I'm notoriously like, I'm the gas man from Gasland. What you need?
Yeah, you had like a really good streak about that where at one point, like when we're all kind of in there already, I would just like kind of ask you like, yo, how you feeling today? How's your stomach? You doing good? Like, oh yeah, I'm fine, man. Oh, cool. We're doing promos today. Excellent. Like the worse he felt, like the more chain we did. It was wild.
Yeah. Same.
Two things, that and getting to the building and using the bathroom, like going immediately to go take a deuce. That's your boys.
You mentioned traveling New Jersey Transit back in the day with EJ and myself. Once I kind of joined school, we were like the transit trio.
Transit buddies.
Yeah. Oh man, you want to talk about cardio? Do like 500 squats during practice, have practice matches, talk to your trainers, lose track of time, and then have to run to catch the train.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Well, not only that, but we weren't the only members, but we were the primary members of the SLC, if you remember that.
Stay late crew.
Yeah.
Because we were there. Practice would end at like 9, and we'd still be standing outside with Bobby Wayward and Matt McIntosh until like fucking 10:30. And then Delaware would be like, "Come on, we gotta go." Like, oh, okay, we're gonna go. That's our only ride. That's our only way home. So
I remember at one point jumping in front of his car like, Delroy, don't leave me. Don't leave me.
One more inside joke. Hold on a second. One more crazy scenario that Bobby Wayward just invented in his head.
We're in the middle of impersonating slang from the 1920s. Come on.
For like 45 minutes, we'd just be like, "Oh, here going down to Wrigley Field. I heard they installed lights." Ah, it's really just us making fun of the enterprise, but it's also, it's a fun thing. It's a thing we did.
There was a lot of good brainstorming sessions in those, though.
Like regular part of my life for several years. Probably drove a wedge with many relationships I had. But anyway, we'll talk about that.
It happens, fam. But one of the things we were talking about was traveling, and we've had the worst travel experiences ever.
Yes.
So
you and I specifically have had some of the worst.
Well, I mean, Javi was there for some of them.
Javi was there for the actual most dangerous one where we could have died. Well, Javi and I probably could have died. But
are you talking like I still have scars from that.
Right, me too.
Yeah. There's like one here and then.
Yeah, so can we go into detail on exactly what happened?
So I'll go over the two most memorable ones. Actually, all right, not to downplay Javi's role in my life, but EJ and I were actually in a possible life and death situation. So EJ and I went to help with setup at some garbage show in New Brunswick, New Jersey, whatever, East Brunswick, or whatever it was. And We didn't get on the show, even though the show was fucking just dog shit.
There was like 4 people in the show.
All right, there was, if you don't include the people that one particular person on the show brought, there would have been 4 people there. He brought like 20, and then there were 4 just people who just happened to be there that day. So EJ and I went. I was borrowing my girlfriend at the time's car, her dad's car, because my car was just not like fit to drive 2 hours. So at the I think something was wrong with his key or something like that. Like his key was bent, so it didn't trigger the ignition. So we set up the ring, we break down the ring, we're there, we're talking to people, whatever. And like it was an early show because it was like a Sunday. So figure like 6, 7 o'clock, we're like, all right, see you later, guys. So we get in the car and I'm like the key's just nothing's happening. Like the key ain't turning, the ignition ain't turning, nothing's happening. So I'm like, oh fuck. We got maintenance guys out there from the school because it was at a high school. We got maintenance guys out there with 12 cans of WD-40 just like spraying shit into my car. And I'm like, I don't know, bro. So eventually we just took a cab to the train station and we took a train home. And by this point, we had already been there for like an hour and a half, give or take.
Nah, fam. Hold on. See, you
No,
remember
I mean
this.
just at the school.
Yeah. Okay, I was about to say, we were definitely like at the school for like hours. Because I remember getting to the train station. We took a cab to the train station. Sorry, not to cut you off. And we got Domino's at the train station because it was like a short walk or something like that. But I remember going to Domino's.
I remember that, yeah. They got wings or something weird like that. So we get on the train, and I won't name names because I like one of the guys in the match, so I won't name names of the match you're watching. We were watching one of the worst wrestling matches either I've seen ever in the history of us watching wrestling. I've been watching wrestling for going on probably 27 years now, 26 years. EJ's been alive for about 13 years, so he's been watching it for most of those 13.
I've been alive for 25.
Right, that's it. This is one of the worst wrestling matches I ever watched in my life. We're watching on EJ's tablet, and the train stops, so we're like, whatever, New Jersey Transit, these things happen. We're sitting there for a while, we're not moving, and we watched the whole match, and we're like, what the fuck? Just like, heads in our hands, like, what are we doing with our lives? And then all of a sudden, they didn't even announce it. The guy just came on and was like, hey, so someone said they have a pipe bomb at the next stop, right?
Yeah. So we were taking the MJT to like, we were supposed to go to 34th Street.
Yeah.
And at like a weird stop, it was maybe Metuchen, something like that, or like a stop.
No, I think it was like Woodbridge. No.
Linden?
It was right before Metuchen, right? Like Woodbridge or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It stopped over there, and it was just like
there might be a bomb on the train or at the station. We're not sure.
And then at first it's funny because it's like at that time you think of like as wrestling fans, it's like, oh my God, see someone call like the cops, CM Punk is on the loose.
CM Punk showed up, yeah. So we're like, all right, what do we do? Like it's already been a disaster. What are we gonna do from here? So eventually I'll fast forward 23,000 fucking hours. They let us off at the next station about an hour later. We took a cab to Newark.
Yeah.
Or Hoboken. One of the path stops.
It wasn't Hoboken. It was Journal Square.
Yeah, Journal Square, yeah. So we had to take the path train back to not even Penn Station, like whatever the thing.
It was like World Trade or something like that. And
Hudson Yards or whatever it is. And then I still had to get home. I didn't get home until like 4:30 in the morning. And I texted my boss at 4:30 in the morning. I was like, hey, I just got home. I'm not coming in tomorrow. Like, no. There's that one. Unless you have anything to add, I'll continue to the next one because the next one is far more.
Well, I remember I was supposed to be at that show with you guys. And then I think either I had a family thing or someone I was dating at the time had a family thing. And I remember EJ being like, nah, man, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, man. Family's first. I get it. It's just another, ring rental. Don't worry about it, bro. The next day I see him, he looks at me. I go, hey, how was the ring rental? He looks at me. Don't fucking talk to me. Yo, what happened? Didn't I just say don't fucking talk to me? I'll kill you. No, I'll slice your face. I was like, oh, okay, my bad. I'm sorry.
Cause it was just for like a weird year where it felt like anytime me and CPA went anywhere together, it was like we were doomed to not get there. Cause it was even little things like sitting on the train, going to training, sitting there waiting for like 4 hours. We were supposed to get there at 4:30. We get there at 9 when everything's done.
Yeah, the one time EJ and I pulled up to practice when it was ending because the train just didn't move ever. They were like, all right, guys, we're delayed. We're like, so what are we gonna do? So like we literally like practice ended at 9. We got there at like 8:58 and we're like, hey, all right, I'll see you later. The other time, so I met up with EJ and Hush Holiday, friend of the show.
Hands up.
Man, hands up.
Friend of the show, Hush Holiday. He can't hear this, unfortunately, but I love you, Hush. Met up with EJ and Hush at, what was that? City Hall. So we met up there. We had a show in Union, New Jersey. So we pick up Javi, and my car starts smoking. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to pull over, check all my fluids and all that shit, make sure everything's cool. So my 92 Toyota Camry was a complete fucking disaster, and everything was wrong with it, including the thing that's supposed to hold your hood up didn't fucking work because the hood was too heavy. So I had Javi hold the hood up.
I volunteered.
Sure, you volunteered.
Thank you.
I went in the store to get snacks.
Yeah. So I go to check the antifreeze, and the fucking thing explodes. It was July 23rd, 2016, the day before my 30th birthday. I already had a cold, but that's inconsequential to the story. Antifreeze, piping hot antifreeze in 100-degree weather, just explodes all over my face into Javi's stomach. Thankfully, I think about this every time I'm driving, basically, that if Javi had let go of the hood, I would have been literally dead right now.
Yeah.
I held on.
Or
And
at least I'd have no face right now.
I just remember yelling at you. Get the fuck out of the way. Just move so I can put this fucking hood down. Because I didn't realize it hit you in the face. I just feel it like my chest, my stomach, everything. And I'm like, just move.
So from my perspective, all I saw was coming out of the store, there was a ramp and there was like stairs, if I'm not mistaken, because I was at like 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. By my bush.
I remember.
Javi's bush.
Yeah. So wait, real quick. They would come from New York. They'd pick me up in New Jersey. Coming out the Holland Tunnel, and there's like a gas station, 7-Eleven there, and some bushes, and I'd be by the 7-Eleven
behind the bush
or whatever, and then I'd wait by the bush because that's where the shade was in the summertime, and then they just named it.
And the winter time
too.
And the fall time and the springtime. There's always shade. There's always shade in the bush.
And then when you get there, you'll look and you won't find him at all, and then he'll suddenly appear just from behind the bush, like, "Hey guys, what's going on?"
His head behind the bush.
I often think, who now owns that bush?
Not you, fam.
And if they're taking care of it as much as I took care of it,
But anyway,
there's probably like a Chick-fil-A in that bush or something like that now.
Gentrification.
So just explode. Yeah, gentrification. So just piping hot antifreeze just all over our bodies. Oh, great, cool. This would have been fine, except the fucking cap to my radiator just flew away. It just went away. I don't know where it went. It just went somewhere. So I'm like burning alive, freaking out. Like, what are we gonna do? Hush is trying to text me and ask me if he needs me to drive, which is not the problem right now.
I forgot about that.
The actual problem is I can't drive because my radiator cap is fucking missing. So we had to take an Uber to a Pep Boys like 5 miles away just to get a cap for the antifreeze for the radiator. To come back, put it on, keep driving, car still smoking, call AAA. AAA took 3 hours.
Nah, definitely not. It had to be longer.
Well, we moved from, we got the cap, we drove like maybe 3 towns over,
Yeah.
and we were a lot closer to the venue than
We're in
I think
Bayonne.
we realized. Yeah,
We're in
yeah.
Bayonne.
And the show was, we had a show in Union.
Yeah. So we waited like 3 hours for AAA to get there. They towed it back to my house, and then Sean Molson came to pick us up.
Friend of the show.
We all
Angel.
we all squeezed into his little dad car, whatever that thing was.
His hatchback. I remember it was a hatchback because we were, kind of make fun of it.
We also walked to a Wendy's while we were waiting because we were there.
Yes, I didn't move because I was just like, you guys were like, you want to come? I'm like, no, I don't feel like moving right now. I just want to like die.
Oh no, I remember. For some reason, in all these experiences, I remember what I ate at that time too. Just like, oh, this trauma happened. I was at McDonald's. Like, I don't know.
You guys. I told you guys to get me fries because I just wanted fries to make me feel slightly better, even though it didn't work. But yeah. And then we got to the building, and I wrestled with holes in my body. And then we got really hammered at the bar afterwards with like Uncle Shoes, and fucking Gibbs was there.
Yo, shout out to Gibbs, another friend of the show.
Yes, thank you.
Gibbs, yes. I have my Willie Stargell shirt.
Hey.
Baseball.
Shout out to Willie Stargell.
Baseball is a work.
Bobby was trying to talk to me about baseball before we start. He's like, remember that fight, like 2000? I think it was like Babe Ruth and like Chuck Knobloch. And I'm like, nope. Try again.
His knowledge is also just like 96 to 2000 Yankees. Like, he doesn't know anything
96
else.
to 96.
I was like 8 to 11, which is like prime baseball years for any like little boy, you know? So like, it's also when my favorite team was winning all the time. And then I stopped watching baseball in like 07. And I was like, I can't.
When the Mets stopped winning. Yeah, that makes sense.
You're trash.
Anyway, speaking of present day things, you have a podcast now, sir.
I have a podcast. We just got done recording our 101st episode, 101st also.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
It took us it took us almost 3 hours to record it because we're all in different places. So I'm in New York, and one guy's in Eastern Massachusetts, the other guy is in Western Massachusetts. So we recorded on Skype, and it was just a fucking nightmare. But we got it done. We're at Off the Hop Rope. We mixed the perfect beer with the perfect wrestling match. We mix craft beer with pro wrestling matches. Tonight, for our 101st episode, we mixed like local craft beer, which I'm drinking Barn Shed Brewing in Hicksville, New York.
Nice.
Right around the general area of where I live. And we mixed that with, so I've done a squash match with WWE, and Mark did one, and then Troy just picked a fucking Gunnar Scott match that we watched.
Nice.
Yeah, we mixed the local craft with the local talent.
Nice. Well, I'm glad that you mentioned the beers and the wrestling, because what I would like to ask you to do right now is to grab yourself another beer, and we're going to do something. We're going to watch one of your matches together. How you feel about that, fam? What do you say?
I feel great about it, especially since I know which match we're going to watch.
Kayfabe, bro. Kayfabe.
Right?
What are we going to watch?
Business.
Undertaker has a documentary on the network, and Nick Stapp's over here exposing the business.
Undertaker's tweeting LOL right now. Come on, man. Come on.
Go to his Patreon for some real surprises.
Let's get serious. Come on.
Undertaker's OnlyFans page.
And on that note, we'll get to that match.
We'll be back in a jiffy, folks. Oh, hey, and we are back, folks. We have that match ready. We have Nick Stapp here. We have Broken Skull IPA. We have local craft beer.
IPA. Hershey the Wonder Dog is here.
We got Jose. We got Hose B. We got the artist formerly known as CPA, a.k.a. Coochie Mang, a.k.a. the Dumpster Daddy. The man, the myth, the legend. We're about to watch one of the greatest independent pro wrestling events of thievery. See what I mean in a minute, folks. You want to see a robbery in real time? Jose, whenever you're ready, baby.
Oh, let's
Shield
do
the
it.
people.
I'm fucking done.
And folks, if you don't know where we are, this is the infamous Chop Shop.
Is it CPW or OPW?
It's CPW. I think it was like Chaotic Pro Wrestling. No, it wasn't Chaotic. What the hell was it? Collision Pro Wrestling.
Collision.
So I didn't have anything going on this particular weekend, or I just had like I didn't have anything that Friday. So at the time, Robbie E was still doing his indie run. So I texted him. I said, "Hey, bro, you got anything this weekend?" He said, "Oh, bro, I got this show Sunday morning at the Chop Shop." I said, "Say no more, fam. What do I have to do to get on?" Because I actually had a show at the Chop Shop that night. And, like, before I could even think about it, he's like, "All right, you're in a match with me. We're the first match because I want to get the fuck out of there."
Yeah. So this is 11 a.m. to start
11
the show.
I think it was November 11th, 2018. I was in quite a crisis period of my life at the time, as you can tell by what you're about to witness. Like, legit, I got there, and he's like, "Bro, if they don't start this show in, like, 2 minutes, I'm going to ask him for another $100. This is bullshit."
Hey! This is when you started showing your legs.
Well, truthfully, I forgot my my gimmick pants at home. So I was like, let me see how the trunks work out. And they worked out pretty well, I think.
So do you just have a spare like pair of trunks on you at all times?
I always wore trunks under my pants. The day before this, I had Pro Wrestling Magic. I double shot. Look at me slapping hands with all the invisible fans in the crowd. There were literally 4 fans in attendance for the show. The guy,
It's Matt Vitas. Sorry.
yeah, former Pat Buck student Matt Vitas. The guy who's sitting hard cam side is the promoter who ran the show later, and the person against the wall over here is, I think, one of the wrestlers' spouses. I don't want to put a stamp on that, but it really doesn't matter because they're not gonna watch this.
Well,
So
everyone in
this
that
was
crowd is probably dead now in 2020.
CBA's trunks.
they came to this show, so probably they probably got the prototype COVID being in that building.
Oh man, this is where China tested it out.
Yeah, this was this is a
Yo,
night.
your gear is like everyone's like Zoom meeting now, though. That's the wild part about it. When you think about it, everybody's just their undies and in the front, just business.
Business on top and a party underneath, baby.
Mm-hmm. That's the way to go. So yeah, like the day before, I did a double shot for Pro Wrestling Magic and CZW. It was just a fucking disaster. So then afterwards, I drove from Voorhees, New Jersey. This is Robbie E working the crowd. I loved being on shows like this with Robbie E because he was so miserable and he was just like, "What the fuck am I doing here? Like, I'm just here I'm just here to, collect my shekels and go the fuck home." But thankfully, I knew about that ahead of time, so I was like, "All right, Rob, I got you, fam." So like, he was like, "Oh, we did like a dance spot last night." I was like, "Nah, bro, I got some real shit in mind. We're gonna get our working boots on here." So I was like, I had this spot in mind as soon as I saw Robbie E wrestle on an indie show.
This is when you started like showing your love for Taylor Swift publicly?
Yes. This was right around that time where I started doing this. I was like, "Bro, I got this cool spot where we arm wrestle." So here we go. Getting right down there. My arms are
doing his push-ups right there, warming up.
Yeah, I'll do some push-ups. All right, so at least I can say my arms are bigger than they were here, which is great. Because my arms are like garbage here. My lats look nice, but
when I first met you, you didn't look anything like this.
Yeah. So Robbie goes for the stomp, and we move out of the way, and then chaos ensues. Absolute chaos.
Exposing.
This is great.
This is the kind of match you have 11 o'clock on a Sunday morning in front of 4 fans.
That's insane. Oh, hold the phone.
Oh, it was really glitchy for me, but I watched it a few times already. So, we're back. So the whole idea was, we're gonna do it, and then we're gonna get the ref involved.
So you got the ref to do it?
Of course we did, and he was more than happy to oblige. And then Robbie just did it like 38 times or something crazy like that afterwards. So the day after this, so after CZW, I drove from Voorhees to where Beefcake lives in, like, where does he live? Elizabeth or something like that?
Yeah,
like,
Elizabeth.
Pretty close to Rahway. I drove from there, from Voorhees, because I had to wait 2 hours for DJ Hud to give me money for the night. So I didn't get to Beefcakes until like 3 o'clock in the morning. Then we stayed up drinking Miller Lite and watching King of the Hill. I think I got like an hour-ish of sleep. And then Beefcake and I, because Beefcake was on the night show, Beefcake and I drove up to Pawtucket, Rhode Island, to 225 Conan Ave, bro. And I only commit that to memory. And I know this is a complete psychotic scenario, but if someone came up to me and said, hey, man, I got this company I'm working on, and we got a TV deal and all this shit, and, like, as soon as I look at that address, I know not to show. That's the only reason I have this address committed to memory, just so I can avoid a snafu like that in the future. So I was on, like, no sleep. The girl I was dating at the time, I dropped off Beefcake by the train station in Hicksville, right by Cap. She lived in Hicksville, so I went to her house. I stayed over, and then I had work the next morning. So while I had to go home first to get like stuff for work. So I drove home to get my stuff for work, and I literally, like, I got off the, so, like, where I live, it's like right off a highway, and then it's another like 3-4 blocks to my house. I got off the highway and I pulled up. I saw the red light, and I fell asleep at some point between getting off the highway and very gingerly smashing into the car in front of me at 5 miles an hour.
Wait, but you were like, you don't remember it at all?
What was that?
Like, you don't remember, like, falling asleep or nothing?
No. I remember getting off the highway and registering that a red light was coming up. And then I woke up to, I was like, what is happening? And then, like, it was an older woman. She got out of the car, and she's like, she had like a minivan or whatever, and she was like, my car's fine. My car was not fine, because as I found out later that day, I was driving home from work. The hood of my car was, like, dented in to the point where it couldn't latch, like, the latch to the hood didn't latch anymore. So the hood of my car flew up on me while I was driving home from work that night. And then, to top it off, that woman, even though I gave her my number and everything, I said, if anything ends up wrong, just let me know, whatever. She called the cops on me and said I was a hit and run.
What?
Wow, qué pendeja.
I literally gave her my number. She took down my plate number, all that shit. I said, if anything's wrong, let me know. I'll take care of it, whatever. Even though I probably had like a negative $300 on my bank account at that point. But look at Robbie E going up to the first rope,
Because he's working hard, brother. Brother's working hard.
That's how you know the check didn't bounce. He's on the first rope.
He's on a rope.
Yes, if the check bounced, he would be on no rope.
He barely bounced. That jump onto it. So yeah, that was like this show, and then so as a result of that, so my hood flew up, I pushed it down. Like, I pulled over. Thankfully, I, like, noticed it was, like, floating, so I, like, pulled over. The hood flew up. I pushed it back down. It broke off the hinges. So then I had to call my dad, who was, like, nearby, and he has, like a big hatchback thing or whatever. So we threw the hood in his trunk, and he was like, all right, I know someone who's selling their car. We have to get you a new car because this is a disaster. So I guess it was like addition by subtraction. So I ended up getting a much more operable vehicle out of this whole.
I'm saying it sounds like your car was made out of paper clips and like glue.
By that point, it was. I'm not gonna lie about that. By that point, it was a bleak situation to say the least.
Like a rainy day is gonna make it like explode. Like, damn, fam.
Legit, if I oh, here we go. Here's the big ball spot.
I love that he doesn't bump. He just like gingerly sits down.
Of course, he's not taking a bump. I took an apron bump in this match. Come on.
That was a stiff ball shot, bro.
That was
a stiff ball shot.
You were a little snug.
I took care of Brother Strauss. I took care of him. But yeah, this whole scenario just led to so many idiotic things, and Kick Wham Stunner and CPA wins it for all the 4 fans in attendance.
Look at your face.
I won. Genuine celebration.
Yep. For all 4 people in attendance.
And the one guy on his phone.
I love it because they're looking at you like, yeah, you wrestled. You did a thing.
The guy on his phone, I think, was running the show later that night. You guys did a show for him. It was Outside the Box Wrestling. Didn't you wrestle there?
Outside the Box. That sounds mad familiar. We might have.
I'm almost positive you guys wrestled.
I know we've done like
I think we
RWA,
did.
we've done. It's just, you know what it is? So many promotions run out of that building, they start to like bleed over. So like unless you could tell me who we worked, then I can't really remember, you know?
Also, a fan was the timekeeper. I don't know if he caught it at the beginning, but Robbie E says, "Why is a fan the timekeeper?"
I don't know if you saw on Tuesday, we started this thing called the Mass Madness Tournament.
Okay.
And basically what it is I created a team and Nahavi created a team. And what we did was we did a bracket style tournament, and we needed a guest to tell us who has the better mass between our 2 teams.
Okay.
So today is the first round. And do you have what's on tap, sir? Ooh, I took what is that one of your lines of what's on tap? Ooh.
Oh, what's on tap?
So, as the guest judge, and for all our other future guest judges, we're basically going to be arguing 4 points. Okay, 4 points
Mm-hmm.
of a luchador's mask. Here we go. First point, originality.
Okay.
Right? The originality of the mask. Second point, the influence of the mask, the influence of others, to others. Okay, so originality, influence, brand power. The brand power of the mask, how recognizable is it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you change colors, does it become a completely different thing? Or do you always understand the root of the mask and the design? That's 3. Rookie so far. All right. And then the last point is presentation. All right. Presentation.
Okay.
All right. So those 4 points, Jose and Hoseby are going to argue their picks. And ultimately, you're going to be the tiebreaker of sorts. You're going to listen to us argue, and you're going to go, you know what? The winner is blank.
Yeah.
You're the third party, sir.
It's as simple as it is complicated.
The winner is Raksha. Okay, moving on.
And that's
all right, so part 1 of the first round. Jose, you want to take it away, buddy?
No.
Yeah.
I got to announce my team first, so I'm gonna let you go ahead. an announcer. I'm gonna let you make your little argument. I'm gonna let you talk a little talk. Go ahead, sir.
All right.
And just for the people at home, so they know, this is for Blue Demon versus Drago.
Yes, I have them both pulled up now.
All right. Blue Demon versus Drago. My man. Blue Demon. You want to talk about originality. You want to talk about influence. You want to talk about presentation, brand power, CPA, Gucci Mane, Nick. Close your eyes, brother. Close them. Close them. Now, when I say Mexican luchador, do you or do you not think of the Blue Demon? Blue mask, silver outline. Not only is it original, not only is he a trendsetter, not only does he influence not only Mexican luchadors of his generation, but the next generation. And guess what, man? There's not only a Blue Demon Jr., there's a Blue Demon Junior, a Blue Demon the third, bro. So the future generation is going to be influenced by this guy. You can't debate influence. You can't debate originality. Brand power, all right, it's Blue Demon. I've seen the mask in different colors. It always stays the same. But at the end of the day, it's in the name. Blue Demon. You got to pick Blue Demon, man. You got to pick Blue Demon.
You done?
Yeah, that's it.
You done?
I'm done. Not only am I done, you can't argue against it. That's how I know. Now, trust me, my other picks, the argument will last longer. The debate will last several hours, several days, maybe. But for Blue Demon,
so I'm gonna give you
a squash match on Raw, brother.
I'm gonna give you credit where credit is due. Blue Demon. My goodness, I'm over here struggling. He
Demon
definitely
Azul.
Demon Azul, if you will, definitely broke down barriers, and like, that's a memorable mask. I'm gonna give you credit where credit is due, you know. But, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, baby girl, if you will, I would like to present my case for Drago simply because look at the mask, bro. It's not like anything you see in professional wrestling. When you see mask of luchadors, you see the regular, like, basic mask. Everybody tries to do like the Rey Mysterio or like the Psychosis, like different traditional masks. This is the first mask that's outside the box. What kind of mask, has scales as if it's a dragon, bro? This man's face is literally something that's innovative that you've never seen, that you could see straight out of a movie character, bro. This is like looking at the Predator. Like, it's next level, and it's innovative. You're never gonna see anything like that, bro. Look at the presentation when he comes out. He spits fire. Look at the tongue. Whenever he does matches and he presents himself, he has the long tongue. Like, he takes that presentation to the next level, and that's the thing that takes characters legends. That's what makes characters legends right there. I think I made my case. Just look at it. I don't even have to talk. This is best mask. This isn't best legacy.
When you talk about legends, you talk about legends. Blue Demon, my man, his mask, it may not have been him. It may not have been the human being, Alejandro Munoz Moreno, but his mask was passed down generation to generation, man. The very first match in Lucha Underground history, the very first match, the very first main event, brother. The very first main event, the very first main event. Top of the bill, the mask of the Blue Demon was featured. The mask of the Blue Demon was in it.
That wasn't him and Chavo Guerrero, was it? Oh, word. I remember that.
That was the first main event in Lucha Underground history. You talk about legacies, all right? Blue Demon has appeared in more movies than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. This man has been in more B movies than Hulk Hogan.
Wow.
Blue Demon, brother. I'm spitting straight fire, all right?
Not only is he throwing the facts,
bombs, and triggers.
Not only is he throwing the facts, that's the most Spanish I've ever heard Javi speak. So go on.
El kayfabe. So you've heard both sides.
Okay.
You've heard both presentations. Now I'm sure people watching out there in YouTube land, all 47 viewers,
There's gonna be at least 49 because I'm on here, but
the drawing
baby.
power. That's why you're worth $1 billion cajillion, my friend.
exactly.
Drawing power.
If you weren't at that building that Sunday, there would have been no fans instead of 4. Remember that.
Nah, Robbie E was there. There were at least 2.
That's true. Very true.
I was the unannounced name on the show.
You were and more.
Yeah.
So anyway, you've heard both presentations.
Mm-hmm.
Who had the better mask?
So
Blue Demon, Drago.
So you guys both have very, very valid arguments. This is I hate to do this, but this is a very subjective thing on my end. I think Drago's mask is stupid as fuck. It's innovative, don't get me wrong. It's very innovative, it's creative, it's cool. I think it's ugly as sin. And I don't think Blue Demon's mask is great, but I hate Drago's the type of guy who, if I was a kid and I was watching it, I'd be like, this looks dumb, and I wouldn't want to watch it. So I'm going to go Blue Demon. I'm sorry.
Woo!
Yo, my mates!
I'm sorry. I always hated his mask. I always hated it.
There you have it, folks.
It's
There you have
creative. It's creative. It's innovative. Don't get me wrong. It's cool, I guess, but like, I just don't like it. It's like too much. It's too much for me.
Drago's been eliminated, fam. I ain't gonna lie.
Is down.
I knew this was gonna be a battle that I wasn't gonna win this one. I swear to you. But this next choice, this next match, because we don't focus on the losses over here. We take that and we move on. That's what we do on this team, all right? So with that being said.
Wait. Let it be known that Hose B won the first match. That's right. Hose B, it's my time to shine, baby. Now we can move on.
I'm looking at the ones coming up. Those are rough.
Well, next up for you, Mr. Guest Judge, is Rey Mysterio Jr. and Hosby's trash. Who you got?
Wow, it's your boy Rey Mysterio Jr. against Psychosis, man. Psychosis.
Yeah, actually, I take that back. I like Psychosis.
I'm not gonna argue mine first. No. You're Jose. It's your turn. You argue first. Okay, I want to hear what you have.
Bro.
I want to hear what you have for Ray.
Bro. Nick, let me ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
Who's that jumping out the sky?
Already, why, bro? Come on.
Mysterio. So, here we go. He goes off the top rope, then look out below, because the next thing you know, you'll be on the floor. My man's got style. My man's got grace. And his mask, think of like the different styles that he's done. His mask is legendary. His mask, wherever you go to buy knockoff mask or fake Rey Mysterio mask, everybody's got one of them. Stop playing. You see?
I think. I don't know.
It might be in my car. I might have it. Who knows?
I have it. I definitely have that at least.
I don't even have to make an argument for this one. Like, everybody knows the Rey Mysterio look. When you see the little side wings coming on and then the cross in the middle, you know who that is. When you see the 619, that's legendary, bro. Everybody knows his brand. You can't go anywhere without people saying they know Rey Mysterio. Like, ask 9 out of 10 people they know Rey Mysterio because his mask is fire. Remember when he had the red and yellow flash gear, actually?
I didn't love the flash gear, but yes, I do remember it.
Yo.
I'm not a comic book guy. You guys, everyone thinks because I'm a white boy, I'm nerdy. I'm not. I don't like comic books that much.
I actually remember that gear specifically because one of my boys had the toy, and at the time we were lending each other toys and never like gave them back. So
Wasn't that was Mania 20, right?
I remember
that was Mania 20.
It might have been.
Hold on, I gotta look it up now. Sorry. Continue your arguments. I'm gonna look this up.
Well, 2021, he was like a Mexican Superman.
I think it was.
And yeah, it might have been 20.
It was 20.
What did he do 20? Yeah.
19, he was Daredevil. That I remember that because WrestleMania 19 is low-key my favorite WrestleMania.
You guys are making all my points for me too.
You're
If
right.
you think about the other WrestleManias, he had looks that people remember. Remember when he was Captain America? Remember when he was doing the Joker? These are all Fuego things. Like
That's great, man. That's great. But you know what? It ain't original, bro. It ain't original. You want to argue originality? Rey Mysterio Jr. got his mask from his uncle Jack, his tío.
His Uncle Jack?
Oh, sorry.
Jack Mysterio?
No,
who's
fool,
that
Rey
jumping
Mysterio.
out the sky? JACK.
J-A-C-K.
So first of all, his mask isn't original. Right? His mask isn't an original. It's not really influential because it's not his. Psicosis, my man, you want to talk about originality? It is one of the first, I'm not saying it's the first, all right? I'm not going to argue that. But it's one of the first times on national television, not only in the United States, but in Mexico, where this shit was invented, where the mask had a hole on top, and this man's curls flowed into the air as he hit a guillotine leg drop. Flowed in the air as he did all this cool lucha, ducha, fucha stuff, as one of our trainers once called it.
Can I ask you something completely unrelated to your argument, not to cut you off?
Yeah, go ahead.
Why is it every time you say flow, you have to go flow like you're flying or something?
You want to know why? Because in 10 years, this will be gone, and I'll be bald as a cue ball. So until then, the man's locks flowed in the wind with every offensive maneuver. And on top of that, it changed throughout years. At first, it started off, you know, a little cartoony because it was the 80s into the 90s. But then by the time you get to the new millennium, my man had the black and white mask with the horns. It was great. It was great. And it's a look that stayed relevant throughout the years. And you could just show that mask and people go, oh, man, I know that, man. It's Psychosis, man. That's a bad mamma jamma.
Nobody says Mamma Jamma in 2020. Nobody.
I just said it, so you can't say nobody. So kiss my grits.
You
With
Mamma
that said.
Jamma.
With that said, Coochie Mane, what's your decision?
All right, so I always liked Psychosis' mask, Psychosis, whatever. That being said, Rey Mysterio, even before he was doing the stupid Superman, whatever, the cartoon comic book things, whatever, he always had a different mask. He lost his mask and then still brought it back without getting killed in his home country. So I'm going to go with Rey Mysterio.
The man broke down barriers, took off his mask, put it back on like nothing ever happened.
That was like a big deal. I was talking to someone who had kind of a wrestling fan recently. I was like, yeah, like back in the day, like that was a big deal. Like if you lost your mask, like you couldn't wear it ever again or you get like fucking stabbed. Rey Mysterio was the first person to ever get away with that. Ever.
Didn't he like ask permission or something like that?
He had to ask permission and he got it because he's Rey Mysterio. And he's a legend.
Mark.
Psychosis is great. Don't get me wrong. I love Psychosis. Big fan. My man was doing top rope leg drops to the floor. Not even to the ring, to the floor. Right where my body usually goes.
Now he's getting dropped out of this tournament. He is getting leg dropped out of this tournament. To the floor he goes and he kicks the bricks.
Lo siento, te amo, but I just
Oh
can't.
man.
Can't.
All right, well, that's the end of round one. Part one of round one.
Who you got on next? Who's voting round two?
Going on to round two. I believe, let me pull up my archives here, Daddy, and talk.
I don't think that's what he was asking. He was asking
who's voting.
Who's going to be the judge for the next
I know you have Callow and La Parca, Liger and Ultimate Dragon. Who's voting on those?
Well, sir, we're going to have to tell you at a date to be decided because we are live on the air and we don't like giving away secrets, sir. So we're going to talk about that.
We can talk about that after we
Close
stop
the
rolling.
curtain. Close the curtain back up.
After we stop. Hold on. Okay, we're good. Go ahead.
That's not how it works.
Well, there you have it, folks. That is the end of round one. Blue Demon advances. Rey Mysterio Jr. advances. Whew, that's going to be one hell of a matchup. We'll be back next week with part 2.
Let them know what they got on tap. Ooh, I did it again. I'm gonna keep on saying on tap. I might have to steal that from you. Now I'm lying. Tell them what's going on for next week, though. Tell them the matchups we got for next week, Papa.
For next week.
For next week, we got Jushin Thunder Liger at Ultimo Dragon.
And we got Super Kalo. And the man who I think is going to win the whole damn tournament, the original La Parka.
Honestly,
if La Parka was in my bracket, I would, no question.
That's a tough one. We're gonna have to find out who the judge is next week. Hopefully, they're on my side.
I don't know, man. If La Parka gets past this first match, he's taking the whole thing.
See, that's tough because Super Callow had the fucking cabbie hat. Ugh.
Well, we're going to have to tune in next week and find out. Nick, where can our 49 fans
49.
thank you for the house? Thank you for the house. Where can they find you on social media, sir?
I expect a $5 PayPal soon. I am at Nick Stapp OK on Twitter and Instagram. I have a Patreon, Nick Stapp, where I just do dumb shit that seems to entertain a handful of people. Yeah, that type of stuff. No, not really. Someone asked me for leg pics recently, and I was like, all right. So I just took a picture of my legs because I hadn't shaved them in a while. I was like, yeah, here's my gross hairy legs. What I have coming up is literally nothing because I'm sitting at my house doing nothing. Limitless Wrestling just uploaded a few matches of mine over the past few weeks on IWTV. Check those out. It's Pandemic at the Dojo. Those are fun matches. Gave me a little jostle on my jimmies, but unfortunately I can't do anything about it because we can't touch each other or look at each other or be near each other until at least 2027. So,
but that'll be your year. That'll be your year, good sir. When can they listen to your podcast?
Every Thursday. It used to be at 4:00. Now it's around 12 or 1, depending on when Mark uploads it. But usually it's every Thursday. If you have Podcast Addict, it's not iTunes anymore. What is it now? Apple
Podcasts?
Sure. iTunes, whatever. We're everywhere. I think on Spotify. We're definitely on Spotify. Off the Hop Rope Podcast every Thursday. And I think we have a bonus episode coming up soonish. We have a Pro Wrestling Tea Store, as do I. But Off the Hop Ropes Pro Wrestling Tea Store just opened today. Literally.
Hot
off the
breaking news, baby.
Hot off the presses. So we have a few designs up there. I just put up a new shirt design on Nick Stapp. I think the URL is still CPA Wrestles, but whatever. We'll ignore that. But anyway, yeah, that's where I'm at.
All right. Jose, any parting words?
I love y'all. Rey Mysterio for the win, baby. Finish it off.
Anyway, Nick, thanks for joining us, man. To our
Thanks,
49
guys.
fans for watching. We hope we can entertain y'all. We'll see you next Thursday and every Thursday, somewhat around 5 o'clock. This has been a Jose and Jose B conversation, and we'll see you next week.
Hey, see you, fams.